What's going on, Unfazed crew? So it's been a while since I've made a video, and that's kind of the point of this video. Is it's been a while since I've made this video. It's been about a month since I put out a video on Unfazed Review, and I think about 3 weeks since I put anything out on Unfazed Frights, approximately. But yeah, sometimes there's ebbs and flows of creativity, and this past month I just did not feel like making any content, and I felt sick for a few of those days and had some other stressors going on in my life, and then it just got to a point of just laziness. You kind of just go to a point where you don't make anything and you're like, you know what, this doesn't feel right. I need to make something. And that is the one beautiful thing about taking a break, about stepping away from the content for a little bit, is you start feeling kind of out of alignment. You're like, oh man, something's missing. I need to be making content. So here I am, making a video for you. It's nothing fancy. It's not a ghost hunt. It's not a dead mall vlog. It's not a skit. It's kind of a rant, I guess, but it's something. I had to kick my ass into gear and just put something out there to kind of get the ball rolling again. So here it is. So right now I'm outside of Arrowhead Mall. This was like the main mall that I went to when I was a teenager. And it's appeared in a couple videos. I did one video with Alan here. I did one video with Max and Emmett, like really briefly. The first time they had Orange Julius was right over here. But we haven't given this one like a proper mall vlog. So that's coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, spent a lot of time here at Arrowhead Mall when I was younger. I used to work at this AMC theater right over here. You can't really see it. It's just a brick wall, but I promise you there's an AMC theater over there. And yeah, this was like the mall, you know, aside from Metro Center Mall. Metro was more when I was a little kid, but by the time I was a teenager, it was already, you know, steeply going downhill. So we came to Arrowhead. Arrowhead was like the go-to mall. So yeah, I'm recording outside of Arrowhead Mall right now. So what I want to talk about in this video is paralysis by analysis. If I can quote Joe Rogan and the great Nate Hall, a friend of mine, paralysis by analysis. That's when you overthink things and you freeze up and you don't do anything because you're so stuck in your head analyzing everything, trying to make it perfect. And I've been really guilty of that lately. Like, at first, it was feeling kind of under the weather, then it was being stressed out, and then it was just excuses. And you can always find an excuse. That's kind of what I want to highlight in this video. Like, there's always going to be an excuse not to do something, especially if it's something that's like a creative endeavor or something that you're doing in your free time. And you can always find an excuse. You can always find a reason not to do it. And that sucks. That sucks. So, I was definitely getting to that point where I was feeling out of alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm like, okay, I need to put a video out, no matter what it is, whether it's a walk and talk, whether it's a random vlog, I don't care, but I need to put something out. So that's what this video is. But yeah, I'm totally guilty of that. And I was actually talking to another fellow content creator who's an acquaintance of mine, nice guy, and he was talking about his YouTube channel, and he hasn't put anything out in years. Like, going back to the Will Smith slap of the Oscars, however many years ago that was, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah, and I told him, I was kind of like, you got to put something out, dude. You know, everyone has a reason. I'm sure, you know, he had very valid reasons to not make content. You know, he had stuff going on and had a kid and things like that. And he had very valid excuses. They were excuses, but they were very valid. But I told him, I was like, you know what, man? You got to find time. If it's something you truly want to do, if it's something you truly love, something you're really passionate about, you got to make time. And I told him, I was like, whether it's 15 minutes after work, 15 minutes before work, on your freaking lunch break, whatever it has to be, man, just do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, you got to do it, man. And then the more I talked to him about it, the more I was like, I need to take my own advice. I need to practice what I preach. I need to put something out there and get back into the groove, because I was getting to the point where I was like gonna make a video a couple days ago, and then I was overanalyzing it. I was like, well, it looks like shit. Well, it's not interesting enough. Well, it's not a cool abandoned mall. It's not a skit with my buddies that has good cinematography and drone shots. Nobody's gonna care. What's the point of just ranting and talking and putting something stupid out there? Nobody gives a shit, right? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, is that true? Like, what do I like to watch? And I love to watch Rich Cooper videos. Him driving in his car, cool bald guy with a beard, someone I can aspire to be like when I'm in my 50s, right? And he drives and talks. He shoots the shit and does social commentary. Uncommon Sense, another channel I really like. Check him out, Uncommon Sense. Theo, great guy, very cool. Had the pleasure of talking to him recently. Nice dude. Love watching his stuff. What does he do? He walks through the woods and he talks. He walks through the woods and talks about workouts. He talks about life. He talks about social commentary. He talks about anxiety. He talks about overcoming obstacles. What's he doing? Walking and talking. What's Rich Cooper doing? Driving and talking. So I started thinking, I'm like, well, shit, that's like what I like to watch 75% of the time. I need to put out more videos like this. And I've done this in the past. I've done videos in the car talking. Emmett's done plenty of rant videos, driving and talking. Like, that's, yeah, we're aware of that, right? But sometimes you forget that. Sometimes you get so caught up in your head thinking, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be a cool skit. It has to be a cool vlog. It has to be cinematic. And sometimes you get away from your roots a little bit, you know? Unfazed Reviews started with us in a bedroom without even any video, just recording a podcast into a microphone and posting the audio with slideshow pictures. So sometimes you got to get back to your roots, you know? So I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but the point is you just got to make videos. You got to put them out there. And whatever that means for you guys, right? If we got to spin this into some kind of unfazed lesson, if you have a YouTube channel, make videos. They're not always going to be the best. They're not always going to be 5 out of 5 star masterpieces. Sometimes it's just sitting in front of a mall you went to when you were a teenager talking. But hopefully this helps some of you guys. And I think I just need this myself. I just need to get the ball rolling and put a video out there again. Then it's like, okay, we can do something a little more ambitious later. We can do another ghost hunt. We can find a cool place to vlog, whatever it may be. Get the guys together to do a skit, you know? But yeah, for now I was just by myself and I said, hey, we have to put something out. We have to do it. And whether you're a content creator, whether you're a writer, whether you're a musician, whether you're a stand-up comedian, whatever it may be, just go out and do it. Put it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I kind of think of it like musicians, right? There's some musicians who are just absolute perfectionists. I think of like Tears for Fears, right? In the grand scheme of things, they didn't really release that many albums compared to a band like U2 or like The Cure, right? But Tears for Fears is definitely one of my favorite bands. I think it's quality over quantity. But at the same time, it would have been kind of cool if they would have churned them out like every other year. You know what I mean? If we would have gotten more from them. Same with the Police, right? 5 masterpiece albums, and then the guys went their separate ways. And sure, Sting had a glorious solo career, and you know, Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers did good stuff on their own, but wouldn't it have been cool if we got something like every 3 to 5 years from those guys, you know? It's almost like you'd rather have a bunch of demos and live recordings and stuff to dive into from people as opposed to just like 3 studio albums every 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's better to put a bunch of imperfect stuff out instead of just like a few polished things. I'm ranting, but you get what I'm saying, right? So I've had to stop and start so many times because I'm still getting in my head about things having to be perfect, things having to be conveyed like exactly how I want them to be conveyed. You know, it's that paralysis by analysis. It's that overthinking. And I just want to get past that myself. I want to get back to putting stuff out very frequently and not overanalyze it so much, you know? I was thinking about German in Venice. I was watching him today, German in Venice, great channel, check him out. And his video was just same type of thing. He was just antsy, he was bored, so he went out to the Sunset Strip and Rodeo Drive and was checking it out at night when it was pretty much dead. And there was really no point to the video at all, but I kind of enjoyed it. I was eating lunch, kicking back and watching it, and I was like, okay, that's inspiring. Like, he was riding around on his e-bike, documenting the nothingness, and I was like, yeah, I need to get out there and do the same, just with my own unique spin. So yeah, if I have to kind of push this and morph this into some kind of lesson, I guess what I'm trying to say is just go out and do it, man. Just do it, because it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be a home frickin' run, I'm not always gonna get the boys together to do a skit with drone shots and a script. Sometimes it's just shooting the shit in front of a mall I went to when I was a teenager, you know? And that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Kind of a shorter video, but I just wanted to get the ball rolling again, kind of get the dust off the unfazed machinery, and put a video out for you guys. If you are a creative type, do your thing. Put something out there, even if it's not perfect. Who cares? Just do it. Just dust it off, get the gears turning again, and put some shit out there. Whether it's a song, an acoustic cover of something, whether you write something and post it online, whatever, man. Whether you make a silly video in front of a mall that you went to when you were a teenager, just put it out there. Put it out there. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of cuts in between because you were stumbling on your words, and that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, guys, stay tuned. I plan to make many, many more videos. We've got some interesting stuff on the horizon and some not so interesting stuff like this. But I do appreciate all you guys watching. Consider becoming a patron. We got that Patreon down below. Check out Unfazed Frights. Got some really, really interesting stuff on Unfazed Frights. Our last ghost hunt that we did, crazy shit. Got some really interesting stuff. Check it out. Like, there's a lot of YouTube channels that are paranormal channels and ghost hunting channels, and they suck, dude. They suck balls. You watch some of those channels and you're like, they're just jumping at anything. They hear a door creaking or a noise outside and they're like, oh, what was that? Oh my God. Whoa. Shut up. Stupid. Anyway, our stuff is much better. Check out Unfazed Frights. That link is down below. Check out No Expectations Video Store. That's going to be getting going again with my buddy James. And remain unfazed, guys. And appreciate your malls while you got them. Remain unfazed.